Hey everyone, I am MSK, aka Master Swag King, coming at you guys today with another video. And if you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video. And in today's video, we are going to be doing a comic book review on Absolute Superman #1. So if you guys have not had a chance to check out our comic book reviews on previous comic books that have been released from Marvel Comics, DC Comics, and Image Comics, I would highly recommend you guys go and check out our previous comic book reviews, as I know you guys will enjoy that content. And on this channel, because you guys are watching this on my comic book channel, we, typically the reason why reviews aren't 10 minutes long, because people have asked that, like, why aren't the reviews shorter? Well, before we get into like the book, the reason why they're not shorter is because whenever I do these reviews, I kind of want to say everything that's on my mind when I read or watch something. I don't want to have that feeling of like, damn, I didn't get a chance to say that when I had a chance to say it. That's why the reviews, they may not be 10 minutes long, but you could always basically watch them to up a certain point and then come back to them. So just want to ask you this.
Good.
Why are you so good looking? Nah, I'm just joking. But you know what's crazy with the Absolute line so far?
What's that?
I'll be honest here. I really don't know what I'm supposed to expect from them, because Absolute Batman's pretty cool for the most part, though I think Ultimate Spider-Man is better in my opinion.
Well, if you're comparing the two, yes.
And you would say Ultimate Spider-Man better because you like Jonathan Hickman, you biased bastard.
No, hold on. But here's the thing, though. I also I love Snyder's Batman, too. I just think he writes Batman very well. I would compare it, say, the first 5-ish or 6 issues compared to those first 6 issues, right?
Oh, sure.
It's kind of hard when someone's up to issue 15 and you're comparing it to the first 6, because there's a lot more story. And especially with Hickman, who gets into things and then all of a sudden it's like balls to the walls.
If I was comparing, like you said, the first arcs for them both,
I would say that I thought Ultimate Spider-Man was more interesting to me,
because it felt like it had more depth to it. Like, no,
well, it also
Batman just really had no depth to it.
It also had, like I told you, it had the Ultimate Invasion, which we reviewed, and it was like, but I remember I said it's gonna pay off a lot more.
It's true,
because you got 3 to 4 issues of this as opposed to the one single issue that we got for the Absolute Universe.
Oh, and going off of that, if you guys want to basically follow where we started with DC, because I felt like, a lot of people don't actually do this with comic books because it's not really known. It's very hard to start from the very beginning of something in comic books because of, not just money constraints, but it's just really hard to kind of capitalize on a single point. So what we did was that for Marvel Comics, we did Ultimate Invasion leading into the Ultimate Universe. And for DC, we did the Absolute Power event leading into the Absolute Universe. Pretty simple, right? Both companies got the same amount of treatment for each book. And for DC, we did the Absolute Power hardcover.
But we also did the Absolute One Shot, which was the real lead in.
Yeah,
Absolute Power was like kind of like the end of the dawn of DC. That was more, that had more to do with Dawn of DC than it did with All In. Because where's Booster Gold? Where is Booster Gold? And I'll say this: the Challengers of the Unknown, or whatever that book is, I read first 2. They talk about Darkseid. Why that book? Why? So now I got to read that stupid thing.
So after our DC All In #1 special review, which you guys really enjoyed, I'm glad you guys enjoyed it, we finally got a chance to get into anything we wanted to go into. Just League Unlimited series, where we did the issue 1 review. We have to do the rest of them, but I thought it was okay. You actually hated it way more than I did, which is crazy. I thought it was okay. It wasn't that bad, but you were like, fuck this.
I don't like whenever they bring that dumbass one-off and they're just, if they would only know I'm here to destroy the Justice League. It's like, shut the fuck up, dude.
God, man.
Shut up.
And then after that, we reviewed Absolute Batman all the way up to at least issue 5. We got to do issue 6 very soon. Me and Warren have been doing
Absolute Warren.
Warren. I was. You almost caught me there. But I'm a genius, and I'm a lyric I'm a lyrical genius like Kanye West, actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is he a lyrical genius?
No, he's just black. And he's a
Oh.
king. Joking aside, me and Warren are going to be finishing up Absolute Wonder Woman when he gets back from his trip. And now we are finally on Absolute Superman, which is the third title released from the DC All-In Initiative. And you guys might hate me for this, but I'll be honest here. I was thinking about it before we even started the review when we're doing the review live on the MSK show episode that we're doing this live on. I'll be honest here. I don't know how I feel about this. I don't know. I don't know if I don't like it. I don't know if I like it. I'm just pretty much in the middle. This is a series I'm going to have to basically see all the way through to see if I enjoy it all, because I'll say this. I didn't hate it. I don't love it. I'm just kind of in the middle with it. I feel like it's interesting enough for a first book. They gave you pretty much a 44-page comic book, actually, which I feel like is good because it gives you kind of some bang for your buck. Yeah, I like the bigger books. It feels like you get enough out of it for your purchase. I feel like the biggest issue with the book is the dialogue. Because I've read stuff by Jason Aaron before. He can write dialogue pretty entertaining. The dialogue in this was just dreadful. Just holy shit, was it boring to read. Now, the overall contents of the book, like with Krypton and Earth and Kryptonite and his parents, cool stuff. But just the dialogue was just, oh my God, who talks like this?
It was definitely a cool take on
that I agree.
It was and we'll get into it a little bit more, but I do agree with you. Like, man, when he was talking about like the subclasses,
everything,
classes,
all the
and I'm just like,
bad.
I'm just like, dude, not only have we seen this done in a bazillion different iterations, like, I've seen this on the Twilight Zone in the 50s. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
dude, even the narration from Superman is boring.
Yes, because he would be like, and this is when my parents did this. And they wore it like a badge of honor. And I'm just like, dude, whatever.
God,
man.
Like the reason why that we kind of did this one last was because I'll be honest here. I read some of the reviews for it, not like spoilers, but just general thoughts to see what people liked. People kind of put this one third and the other two as second and first. And Jason Aaron, as we've highlighted here, has a really huge, great career in comics. He's wrote a lot of stuff for Marvel primarily. He's did stuff for DC. He did the Action Comics 3-part when DC had that whole Superman All-Stars where Gail Simone was a part of that because, fucking reasons, right? Because, fuck us, right? And then he did Batman Off-World where it got delayed. But he probably was doing other books like TMNT and Bug Wars because
stuff, yeah.
Yeah, because Jason Aaron was the big writer that they highlighted for the TMNT relaunch kind of thing they were doing. So I'll be honest here, he usually puts out books on time. So he probably just got caught up like Jonathan Hickman, or they get asked to do so many different books. Things just kind of happen where sometimes books get delayed a little bit, but he did Marvel stuff, DC stuff, Image stuff. This is a seasoned writer here. Like, he's not some like first time person like maybe people that you read comic books from like the indie scene. This is not a first-time writer in any capacity. He should know how to write dialogue at this point. The dialogue in this book is the worst I've fucking read in. I'll put Gyra #1 is probably the worst up there with dialogue for me, but this one was holy motherfucker. Who are these people talking to? They sound like just pretentious pricks for no real actual reason. Hey, this area, we're the electoral college and we do the science, but these guys mop the floors and they mop the floors. Like, what is that? Who speaks like that?
Well, and I mean, I get it from that point of view, but you're right. The way that he went about it was just like,
oh God,
like, dude, like, and I have no problem with it being like, hey, this is how their society is based out,
fine.
right?
I would assume it would be like that.
But when you say like how his mother, the reason why she had top grades, perfect marks, but at 9 years old, she wrote a paper that was so tyrannical.
Well, she wrote a paper that criticized them, so she wasn't allowed to be
at 9. She wasn't allowed to
9.
learn a lesson. She had to be like, nope, you're a fucking janitor for the rest of your life. And then fucking his dad, who was like the best scientist that they would have had, is like, there's a part where he's like, shut down the mine shaft, right? And he's like, I'm doing my due diligence, which someone should do, right? seeing if my workers who are down here all the time said, hey, something's wrong. So I'm checking it out. And this other guy's like, no, you see this on my chest? That tells you that I'm better than you and you're going to listen to me. And then literally 2 seconds later, the fucking mind goes berserk. And you're just like, even if you don't like him, right? Even if he is a subclass, you knew he was literally one of the greatest scientific minds that you had.
Yeah. And no, I'll just add to your point about the whole mind thing. The book is so confusing with how they're structuring it in dialogue. You know, in your head, if you've watched any Superman medium ever, you probably think that's kryptonite, or they're mining some form of red or green kryptonite. It just would be gone with, like, I'm not trying to assume, but it should be kind of self-explanatory. That's what Superman goes, which is kryptonite.
Well, I think the kryptonite is something that they may not have known
about.
And that's why whenever it started coming out, well, let's get into it. Let's just get into it.
Yeah,
let's just do it.
There's stuff that's just not explained. The villains are just these Peacemaker Corps. That's why I'm so indifferent on the book. Like the narration of it is jumbled. The pacing is too slow.
The way it looks, though, is fantastic. Like,
Rafa Soundova is a good artist. Yeah,
the way that the Krypton looks is completely different than we've ever seen it look. Usually, Krypton is like bright and like glassy, and this is like dark red machinery, like buildings on buildings on buildings.
Yeah,
it is a very. You could tell that there's some shit going down here.
And not to make things political, because I know that's where people kind of took this book, but there is a slight sentiment, because people always call Superman and he's the illegal, that's not a word. They call him the illegal alien. Guys, he wouldn't be an illegal alien. First of all, he'd be a registered citizen because he was adopted and they've raised him in Kansas. He would not be illegal by any stretch of imagination.
No, they didn't really adopt him. They just kind of took him out. I don't know how the hell that guy got a social security card or a birth certificate or the other things how did he get him?
They just treat this Superman like he's a legit illegal alien that you would just see and just kind of lock up. That's the way I kind of took the book. Like the way
this one, yes.
Yeah. Like Absolute Wonder Woman and Absolute Batman #1 were, in my opinion, they were just way better than this. As it's a first issue, I'm going to read the rest of them. Obviously, we're going to do that here. But
yeah, I like I said, I think this book has the highest of the highs, but the lows are because there's some stuff in this that I'm going to tell you.
The jumbled stuff in the backstory and the present were just kind of all over the place. Like, but goodness gracious, that dialogue. I
didn't have a problem following it, but I agree with you. There are things that I personally did not care for, but like I said. There's some really, really good stuff later on. There is.
I will say this. Also, in a big book, I was glad the ads were very far between, you know? Because, it's crazy. With this book, if you guys have actually read it, they give the title of what it's called at the very end, which is different from the other two. The other two, you get the title of what it's called.
Yeah, like the beginning. They have a little thing, and then they have, like, what it is.
This one's what? Last Son of Krypton? Yeah.
Yes.
Pretty sure of course it would be. Of course it would be. God damn. So also in the book, he's talking to this like AI consciousness that he has around him, but it's not like a robot. I was confused with that. What was that?
It's part of his suit. You'll see that will see. They will show you
Jason Aaron. Yeah.
No, hold on. That's one of the good parts of Krypton, because like we know it's boring, right?
Yeah.
When they do go back to it, that is an awesome part. That is a fucking really good part. When I think it's issue 2 or 3. I'm not positive.
And just to rag on laughs, the book starts off with an ad for Justice League Unlimited #1. Great piece by Dan Mora.
Sure does.
Yeah, don't you
I like Dan Mora. Dan Mora is fantastic.
Don't you just love Star Sapphire, a seasoned character at DC, being scared of fire and not knowing how to take on situations? Crazy, right?
That was you. That was you.
Was I wrong? I wasn't wrong.
No, you were not wrong. You were 100% right.
Ladies fought the Justice League and she's scared of like bulldozers in Africa.
She was overwhelmed. She was out, like they treated her like it was like her first time being like in any type of situation, as if she hasn't fought like the whole of the Green Lantern Corps. As if she wasn't in the freaking Sinestro Corps war. where the anti-monitor had a freaking Sinestro ring. Like,
hey, I'm just pointing out here. Goku was Soul of the Justice League. Easy, in my opinion. Just joking, guys. Just joking. But I'll say, for any Naruto fan out there, if you think Minato, the Yellow Flash, could beat the Flash, I'm not trying to be mean here, but I am here. You're retarded. You're actually stupid, and your mom regrets giving birth to you.
Well,
if you actually think before the Kage has the Flash,
the only way that he would win is if he already had the daggers set up all over the place. That's the only way. And even then, I don't think it would happen.
Just before we get to the book, I know you guys like this. So there was I forgot what story it was. I generally forget. The Flash, I forgot it was Barry or Wally, is so fast. He was raced, not the classic Superman race that they did. There was a race they did. Barry or Wally stopped racing the Superman, did something completely different, saved people, and then ran all the way back to compete with Superman in the second race. You think Minato, you people are crazy, but nevertheless, time for some Superman stuff. So with all these absolute books, there's these, at least issue ones, there's all these jumping in points, not like the slogan of the all-in jumping on point. Like they jump from past, present, future, flashback and flashback, present, fast forwards to the present, the fucking middle of the book flashes back to the past to get you to another point. This one had the worst, how would you call it? It's the way it's set up. It had the worst past, present, future setup by all of them because it just felt so jumbled. It felt like it was just not interesting. But it starts up on Krypton.
Years ago, 9 million light years from Earth. The planet
I'm not gonna lie. I read it that way too. I read it like Merlin.
It's this. The planet Krypton was ruled by its cities. What they didn't know is like the cities grew arms and legs at night and was like, Krypton bad.
So Jason Aaron puts us on Krypton, and basically, this dialogue is so boring. Essentially, you get a setup for Krypton, which you should. That's a good thing. Then it goes into basically Superman.
The hierarchies. You have to establish that. So there's hierarchies here. So you have the scientific class,
and there's the rich people.
You have the scientific class, right? And they wear these like suns on their chest. Every person wears what station they are on at all times. Like service people, laborers, all that stuff have the Superman S. They have the Hope S, as they say. And the scientific community has these like
this stands for hope.
Yeah, sure does. The scientific class has this yellow sun and then a red sun inside of it. And there's also a governing class, like you'll see later, but they have like a different symbol. But basically, it's the rich and the smart and the poor and the dumb. That's what it is. That's what they try to make it out to be.
That's how I read it. I'm not gonna lie. I came to that same conclusion too.
And they tell you that, right? But what's really amazing, and I thought this was really, really smart of him, what you get, instead of seeing Superman, because you want to see Superman, what they show you is rocks, red ground, and a man who is tired of there being no rain. What a good way to start out a book.
Yep. Basically, guys, it moves into a point where not Lois, oh my God, Superman's actual mom is
a mechanic.
Is a mechanic working with her grandpa or her dad, and their land can't get rain.
I don't know if it's her dad. I think it's like their farming friend or something. I don't know.
Yeah. So that's Superman's, not Ma Kent, his actual mom.
His mom, Laura.
Yeah.
Laura L. So like the way that things work here is like the scientific community, you pay so much money and then they have machines come and make it rain. And Laura's fixing,
like, soak it all in.
Laura's fixing this dude's like crop machine, and she's like, with the money that you pay, and their money is called Krim, which is weird.
I tried to not to laugh. Remember the part of the book, dude, where she was like, just soak it all in. It's rain.
She's like, for that amount of money that you paid for the rain, I could make something that could seed your clouds. And this is what he said. He said, where is it? I gotta find it. Because it's so funny.
The dialogue of this part was just
okay. And he goes, sure. And when you get lopped for illegal sciencing, illegal sciencing, these people are not allowed to do anything science related.
Even though this is a tech-based society, because they established this is a tech-based society in the first fucking page. This is the tech-based society from this fucking image we got here. Great, good job, Jason Aaron. You can sure write comic book of all time. Truly, just a book to exist. And I can't wait to talk this next part. Lois, who knows, not Lois, Jesus Christ, Laura. Jeez, man. Has the best dialogue I've read in a comic book where she said, there's rain here, guys. Let's soak it in.
Yeah, she's like, you paid all that crim for this rain. Because he's like, oh, hey, the robot showed up. Hey, what are you doing? Let's get out of that rain before we get drenched. She's like, nah, you paid all this crim for it. Why not soak it up?
Best dialogue I've read in a comic book. Rain's outside, let's soak it up. Man, just best dialogue ever. Then we get to a part where it's this part you wanted to explain about the mines. So essentially these guys are mining something. They tell another guy to leave, but then a break happens where we see a bunch of like greenish, you would assume kryptonite coming out.
Right. So we find out that there's like the different classes, like they make it out to be like the science people are eating all this fine food, and you see people with the S's on their shirts sweeping stuff up and doing janitor work. And, you know, the Jor-El has been going down in these mines that are apparently unstable, or there's a problem with it at some point, because Laura's like, he's gone down 327 or 3,287 times. But for some reason, this time it rattles my guts. And you're just like, oh, okay. And Jor-El goes down there, and he's from the geological part of Krypton, whatever. And basically, it's exactly what you think it would be. The science guy is like, hey, you need to get in these mines. How come my mine workers ain't working? Get back in there. And he's like, well, there's something wrong. The miners said that they heard creaking and fracturing, and they show me a stress fracture, and I'll make it. You're going to be so far down the society that you can't see your ass from your face. And then literally, as soon as he says that, the mine just goes completely bananas, breaks all open, green stuff, kryptonite, that's what I'm assuming it is, comes out. It melts the dude's face off.
Yeah.
Which was fantastic. I was like, thank God something happened.
This is one of those comic books where the actual good art saves it from the bad writing. I will say, good art can definitely save bad writing, because after that, you know what's crazy, guys? We go to Brazil. I'm not shitting you. Go from Krypton, horrible, just absolutely terrible dialogue, and now you're at Brazil. You're at Brazil, and
they try to show the parallels, because it's like all this stuff. The first thing that they say in Brazil, and he's like, "No snow today. Must be a good sign, eh?" Well, you don't have snowbots, which you should have, because at 3,000 crim, you could stand outside in the snow and take it all in.
So I'm just saying this specific issue number 1, compared to the other issue ones with Wonder Woman and Batman, have the most boring, least interesting characters I have ever read in a comic book. And I've read some bad books that were uninteresting characters. I criticized Jonathan Hickman for Ultimate Invasion's least interesting characters, but those were way more interesting. Tony's dad in that book was way more interesting than all the characters here are not interesting. Even Superman's not interesting. Just, guys, it gets to a part where you finally do see Superman at you would say like the 15th page of the book.
Well, yeah. So this on Earth or whatever, it seems to be the same type of thing, at least in Brazil. Yeah. There's like these people are working in mines, and there's a ruling people, but they're using peacemakers. So they have actual peacemaker, but all over the place. All over the place. And they're the ones maintaining the law and order, working these Brazilian miners to death. You're gonna get my ore. It essentially parallels what happened on Krypton with this one character. Superman is mumbling because just fucking reasons.
Then the Peacemaker troops attack this one guy, and then Superman essentially starts to, fight back, actually. It's not really ever explained why he has to essentially go and what's that thing he does earlier where he's like laying down and taking in the radiation? Is that what he's doing? Unless I'm wrong.
So basically he knows what happens to his parents because he was not, you don't know this yet.
Right.
A lot of the things that might not make sense to you are explained. The stuff that he's seeing here, he knew happened to his family because in the next book, you see that he wasn't a baby when he was sent to Earth. He was actually a teenager or maybe under a teen.
This is essentially a character seeing something from an experience before, kind of mimicking itself.
So it's like he's seeing that happen to them, and it's bringing back the memories of what happened to his family because you're going to see what happens to them.
So the Peacemaker troops all surround these people because they think they did something. Superman finally, comes out. It's Superman finally here, and he can't really control his powers. And
he went and got all the gold or whatever the heck it was, and they couldn't find any, and they were like, where the hell did all this come from? And it was Superman who did it because they saw him coming out of the mine. So the Peacemakers were like, what the hell? And they wanted to know where all of it came from. And it's actually
I don't mind the aspect that he can't control his powers too much, but it's one of those weird things where it's like, if he's been on Earth this long and he doesn't know how to control his powers, it's like, well, how was he concealing himself this long then? He would have to have
I don't know how long he's been there.
True. So
it's not, I don't think it's that he has such a hard time controlling his powers, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think it's he did not want to reveal himself yet. I think he was working towards something, just helping small things that he felt like a strong feeling towards. And this was one of them because it does parallel literally exactly what ends up happening in the next book to his family. So it was
the AI consciousness still talks to him, and he has a radioactive kind of explosion with his powers. Then you get to Lois Lane. Yeah, Lois Lane's here. And she looks like a dude. She has this, good Lord, she has this dude haircut like Miley Cyrus, I guess.
Lois, it's kind of.
And she calls him, and she basically, slaps the. It's a thing that happens in sci-fi stuff when you have aliens. You slap these chains on their wrists, and they can't use their powers. This is Agent Lane, suspect in custody. Move, and I fry your face, Superman. Yep, that's how we get Superman's name, is her essentially kind of calling him Superman, just with no real meaning to it. It's just
I think she had been after him for a minute.
Could be. Yeah, I agree. That's probably a thing.
And I believe the AI controls some of how he retains some of the power. I can't remember everything. Like I said, I'd probably have to reread 2 through
because the dialogue, 5. I imagine it wasn't that interesting when your brain was like, man, I gotta remember this dialogue.
Well, no, some of it gets better. It does get better. Like I said, there's only one issue that I didn't care for. I actually liked this issue a lot more than you did, but I can't remember if it's issue 3 or 4. It's one of those that I thought it was making progress, and then it went back, it regressed, and then I was like, but issues 4 and 5, especially the newest one that just came out, was phenomenal. I thought it was great.
So Superman's captured, and then you get the absolute Superman double page spread of the last time on Krypton. They give you the team behind it and everything. And I do like how they were, DC does this quite a bit with some of the books. They give credit to Jerry, Siegel and Joe Shuster. I think that's always kind of cool when they do that. Then you get, what's so crazy is that this is why ads and stuff are really weird with comic books, where you get this and then you think okay, I'm done with the book. You get another backstory. Where this is, in my opinion, this is the best part of the book, where she's been watching him apparently for a little bit, or
no, that looks like Brainiac to me, sitting in the chair.
I also thought that was Lois Lane, but you're right. No, it's not her.
I think it's because it's a bunch of things connected to him, and there looks like little
so it's Brainiac. Yeah,
and And
you're right. I thought it was
inside,
Lois Lane, but you're right. You have this another character where essentially you're probably right. It's probably Brainiac. You get another flashback in a flashback. This book's kind of all a flashback essentially. Dude, like, in my opinion, this is the best part of the book, where you have this moment with his dad where he was kind of confused at what happened to him about something, and you saw like how young Clark was when he didn't know his parents. I think that's the best part of the book, honestly. That was, and the art here is really good back here.
Yeah.
The art comparison between the end of the book versus the beginning part of it was very night and day different. Maybe that was the idea, to have a night and day different style of look. It would have looked better if it was the consistent style of the back of the book to the beginning part of the book, but you know.
And I thought it was interesting how they showed central Kansas and showed the Kent farm, and it was totally taken down, and it's the property of the Lazarus Corp. So that could be why he's focusing on this, because the Lazarus Corp kind of reminisces to the science people on Krypton.
And that's how it ends for Absolute Superman #1. You get that double page spread of, don't forget, man, do not forget to go all in with DC right now. Don't forget that.
Yeah, and it's like, he kind of, you know, he kind of tells him, his dad basically, you know, flashes back to after the cave in, or, you know, the explosion thing, and he's telling him like what's going on. So you see the setup of them leaving Krypton.
Yeah.
It's the story just told differently. Cal's older. He's not like a baby. So like, he has a chance still. I think they thought possibly he could have a chance to not live the life that they did, you know, and make the decisions that they did.
They can get through it together, man. That's the motto. They can get through it together as a family. Woo. Good Lord. So yeah, that is Absolute Superman #1. I mean, I did this with all the Absolute books. I told you guys I'm going to go through all of them. We did. We're going to keep going through them because they are interesting. Let's just say that. All of them have their interesting qualities to them. So
I wish
I'll ask you, what your kind of closing thoughts on?
Okay, so I liked this book, but I will say this is one that whenever I went to go get it, right, I couldn't get it day one. I think I told you this because it was like, dude didn't save it for me, and he's like, "Oh, dude, they're all out, dude." So I didn't get it till issue 2 came out, right? So I got 1 and 2 together. So when I read them together. Now I could see someone reading this as just its standalone and having some issues with it. I do like how they set up the antagonist more than the protagonist. I wish they would have set up Superman a lot better, right? I wish they would have, because it is called Superman. But you do get the antagonist side from both Krypton and Earth. They parallel them together. I wish that if he's going to stay on Earth and Krypton is dead, why are we spending so much time on Krypton? Why? It just seems like a choice by the writer. I want to tell my Krypton story.
This is how I think Krypton should go. Yeah.
Where it's like, even with you changing it, the end result still has to be the same, doesn't it? So we should be spending less time worrying about the, you know, political nature of Krypton and more time worrying about whether or not the changes that were in Batman. We got badass Batman right from the freaking first issue.
Yeah. Do you know what I think?
He cuts off a hand in the first issue.
I think the Superman stuff should have been at the beginning of the book, and I think what we got at the beginning part of the book should have been second.
Right. I don't care about the guy grabbing the dirt and it not raining because he paid the rain bots and the damn scientist people. I paid them all the crim and they still haven't come yet.
It's just like in One Piece, man, in Naruto and like a lot of these bigger animes, they got to explain everything. You got to know that Laura at her youngest, you got to know everything about her and her unexplored past. And it's like, do we even care?
Think of this. Think of the episodes in Naruto, right? That were like that, right? That explain it. But if you look at that first episode, he went from learning that nobody liked him to stealing the scrolls, to
Yep.
thinking he made a friend, to finding out that nobody liked him, then Iruka Sensei, that had so much stuff in 22 minutes that's almost like a perfect episode for an intro to a show.
Yeah, you're right.
And that, like, where this takes you 15-20 minutes to read, it did not even have a third of that.
Or it's even like it's just how you pointed out that structure. Like you get Naruto, he's the prankster, he's the class clown, he acts out this way. You understand he has no parents because of the Nine-Tailed Fox and all that stuff. This, it feels like Superman is just an afterthought. Like I cared more about what Krypton was probably doing when I read the book, and I was like, what Superman's doing? Like it felt so, man, it just felt so not. It's like such a knock to Superman seeing him treated this way in a book that's supposed to be a coming out title. It's supposed to be a coming out title for maybe people's first time reading a Superman comic book, and they get no Superman. Essentially, you get a comic book with no Superman.
All of that is more Superman than what we got.
Like I don't know what Jason Aaron, he's very tenured. This is a tenured veteran comic writer.
He's a very good writer. He
even holds writing classes with Scott Snyder. So this guy knows what he's doing. Writing dialogue is bad. The setup is there, but I think it's all jumbled setup. I feel like there's not enough attention on the main character, the character we are all here to read. Like, damn, the side characters are not interesting. The plot is kind of just meandering when it's not like Krypton based, obviously.
I could see people think I can't argue with some of the stuff you're saying, right? I can't. But I also look at, if you're going to tell a different story, this is definitely different. It is 100% different than
they want it to be different. You achieved it. You got that
right. But I think the decisions that Superman is going to make are going to be a lot harsher because he did grow up with his parents. He did know them. And getting taken away, that creates angst as opposed to his sorrow for never really knowing his real parents. And the inspiration that he got from the Kents is a lot different than the teenage angst that he has there, so that it is going. I thought that he did a good job in giving us the parameters of how his world works. Now, the execution of Superman for a first issue, I didn't think was successful because there wasn't enough of it. If you're reading it and you're seeing, like, when he's talking like soul, power me down, like you're going, well, what the hell's that? What is he? What? Huh? What? Like, wait, what? What?
That right there, and you said it gets explained later on, so that's not what I'm knocking. But if you're gonna have an AI conscious robot be a part of that, that is, for the most part, always like storytelling 101. You have to establish that early on. Like that's how establishing like everything. Like you have the little robot that's their friend that tells them stuff. It's a common thing.
And it's not even. I have to tell you, it's not even that. I'm not even going to tell you what it is.
Yeah, that's usually established within like when you get the character.
It's like just like how like whenever we read the DC All In special, what was the first thing we saw whenever Booster Gold went through the portal? Skeets. Skeets was the one that gave us the clarity of, oh shit, this is not right. Then you get Booster Gold saying, okay, I know where we are. So like I said, the setup for how the world works, very good.
Very good. Yeah.
The execution of Superman, not really good.
That's just not it.
It does get better. I promise you it does.
I just think for a coming out party, and this is supposed to be kind of like
especially for Superman.
Yeah, Superman's the biggest character, obviously. Well, one of the biggest characters at DC. You would think like, it's crazy how Kelly Thompson to me wrote a better first issue than Jason Aaron. And Kelly Thompson, as we saw with Absolute Wonder Woman, when that got a little bit going, it felt so slice of life-ish. This one, I feel like it's just going to be very Krypton politic driven. I mean, I could be wrong, but yeah, that's just kind of how I feel, guys. I mean, to me, this is, if I'm just going off issue ones, oh, I have that. I can wait to review that. I want to read that.
This is great, man. Gary Frank's art is good, and they did this all in the like he looks like Christopher Reeve. That was like the whole thing that they did with this. And Jeff Johns, when Johns writes good stuff, I love it. I think it flows fast, it's easy, and yeah, that's how you write a first issue like this one. But like we said, it's absolute, and we wanted different. We wanted it to be very different than what we knew, so there was contrasting characters. So when they finally meet, can you imagine our Superman meeting this Superman?
If he lost to this Superman, I know that's editorial interference calling for that. No way Superman from the main universe loses to this. If he does, man, God help anyone's soul. How do you lose to a character like this?
Character that you know of yet? Yes.
Oh shit! Oh God, man! Like, yeah, if people drop the book after this first one, I wouldn't even blame you.
Well,
bored out the ass.
I can't do that.
I mean, I can't. For me, if I drop something after book one, it would have to be really, really, really bad. Like, not.
I have to do like 2 or 3 books because I might not even know like any of the story. Like,
yeah,
we don't really even know what the hell's kind of going on right now.
Even from like the absolute universe, like I don't know what's gonna happen with most of it because I don't know how you guys feel about Flash and Martian Manhunter, Green Lantern.
I thought Flash was really good. I thought that was really good. I liked it. Did you read it?
My package got shipped to me, so I'll be getting it very, very soon.
Okay, I liked it personally.
It's good to hear.
I have not read Green Lantern yet, but I do have it. I have it. And I still can't believe I loved Martian Manhunter. I can't believe it. I really can't. But I did, dude. I went and got this dumbass thing. And
God,
when I read it,
that cover art is so bad. Look at how ugly that cover art is.
Well, I'd say the Martian looks bad. The Martian looks bad. The art itself, like the actual art of like them inside, is fine. There's nothing like terrible with it.
Yeah.
And it's done so. This is how you do different and still do it. You know what I mean? Like this is how you do something different and have it be interesting. Because like when he's like freaking out in the book and like because he's in this accident and he starts after the accident, he starts noticing things like he's doing detective work as John Johns was a detective, and he's like talking to people and he's like, how do I, even though I know this person's telling me the truth, how do I know that she smokes tons of weed, right? Or something. He's talking to a witness. How do I know that this guy's wife cheated on him? Like, he's like, how do I know this? And then he's like walking down the street and these colors start coming out of like people's eyes and their nose and their mouth. And like, he's starting to hear all their thoughts, but they express it with the colors. So like he's watching people walk across the street and one person's like surrounded by red, one's green, one's yellow. You know what I mean? Like, so all this stuff is happening to him. And it's like, he doesn't know what it is. He has no idea why it's happening or what's going on. That sounds way
more interesting just by what you just said in the first like 3 sentences than whatever the fuck this was.
I'm telling you, dude, go look at it. Go check it out. Like, you don't have to, if you don't want to buy it.
I will throw it on my pull list tomorrow when I make my order for the following week because I get paid next week, so I'll just make it then.
It's a very interesting book, I will say that. Like I said, there's going to be things that you don't like the I don't know if he's going to look like this, okay? But they show this
that looks very gimmicky. Yeah.
Where what they show is when he has a strained relationship with his son because before the accident, he was always at work because he works for, I think it's like the FBI or something like that. And he's never there. So when he comes home, he's talking, his wife's like, why don't you go up and see your son? So his son like does art and makes sculptures and stuff. And he's like, oh, you made one of mommy and you, where's daddy? And he points like this. And it's a picture. It's a sculpture of this looking thing.
Well, I can't relate to that character because I don't have a dad because I'm black. But nevertheless,
well, that's what he's saying. You're a Martian. You're never here. So maybe you can relate.
So as far as like absolute Superman #1, yeah, absolute Batman and Wonder Woman. So far from how far I've been in both those 2 series are better. I think this is one of those comic books that I agree gets saved by art. The writing is the weakest part, but the art definitely saves it in some places. Just I'll see if it gets better. I mean, I'm still gonna get it, even though it might fall off the rails or get better. I'm with this stuff forever, and I love comics. So even though I get something that might not be as good for issue 1, I'll still be here.
Yeah,
so
it's hard. Like I said, it's hard for me to rate this issue because I had the first 2. Like I said, if I would have read it by itself, I don't know how I would have felt at that time. But when I read it,
happened with that?
When I read it,
all of your omnibuses.
When I read it, I just went right to number 2 and kept going. So like, you know, well, which room of omnibuses do you want? Do you want these or like the 400 upstairs?
Good Lord. But speaking of, before we end the review of this, did you ever end up getting the JSA that they advertised in here written by Jeff Lemire? Or are you just not interested?
No, I did not.
Because you're not a fan of God. Remember the Tim Sheridan video of him promoting the fucking Alan Scott Green Lantern?
It's it's not that. I am an actual fan of the JSA. I like the
JSA, yeah.
It's just at that point in time, I was getting so many books, dude. Like it just honestly I saw it when I saw it, I knew it was a thing. But when I saw it in my comic book store, it was one of the times I was only there to pick up like 2 things, right? And that was a week that the JSA came. I think it was the week right before the day before me and you did that. And remember, we were like, "There's nothing coming out this week."
Yeah,
literally.
Yeah.
I think the JSA came out on that Wednesday because I saw it was like issue 3 or something,
mm-hmm.
and I was like, "Oh yeah, there's a JSA." I forgot.
So for me, guys, we'll see if it gets better. The Last Son of Krypton. That's barely in the book. That's an afterthought that just is completely neglected throughout the whole story.
And is it truly going to be the last? Because they've never done it. There's always something, man. And then when they're like, "Oh crap, we got to pivot," they're not really Krypton. They're Daxamites. How's Kara gonna fit into this? Is she gonna be a thing?
Yeah, so if he's the last, she's gonna be the last daughter of Krypton. Well, can't wait to see how this train wreck goes. It's like a train, it's like a car crash. I'm not looking away. I know it's gonna crash, but I'm here for it. So thank you guys for checking out this video. If you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video. I am MSK, aka Master Swag King, and we're signing out, guys. See you guys.